All right. What challenges do you think the 49ers face this week against the Philadelphia Eagles?
Um, there's definitely the unique one, which is this is one roster that they're not clearly better than, right? I think the
Yeah.
Eagles have just as good of a roster um, as the 49ers do. They have a lot of strengths and big names and, you know, big guys that have made big plays and big moments. They also have the mental edge against the 49ers as far as having that victory in the NFC Championship game. I think obviously a lot of the team might not hold to that because they feel like they played 10 on 11 and that's the reason why they lost, which is good, but I think the biggest thing is this: they're not going to out talent this team, right? Because they have just as much talent and a mobile quarterback. Those are the two things that I think are going to play potentially a big role in this game. We've seen the 49ers have had trouble with it. Mobile quarterbacks have been the Achilles heel. And watching that game against Kansas City, Jalen Hurts was eating them up when it came to his ability to, evade pressure and just use his legs to get that. And I was just like, I tweeted right away, the 49ers have to spy Jalen Hurts at all times. And it's not what the 49ers are usually doing, but I think it's going to be really important that the defensive line obviously stays true to their lanes. But I wouldn't mind putting a guy like Dre Greenlaw and just spy him. Dre Greenlaw has that closing speed. And I think if you keep Hurts in the pocket with this defensive line, I think that it could be enough. But I think those are the two biggest challenges that the Eagles bring the 49ers.
Yeah, it's interesting because you brought up unique challenges, and I know that was kind of the original question. So I'm going to bring up a unique one. The 49ers, whether they're at home, obviously they're going to have the advantage, but even on the road, they travel so well. 49er fans always travel well. This is one of the rare instances and rare teams that actually hold that 49ers fan base in check. It looks to be, and last year was only about 20% 49er fans for the NFC Championship. This week, it's about 28%. The 49ers are at worst on the road, 40, 45%. There are stadiums that they go to, and there are more Niner fans than the home team. Not just the Rams, it happened in Jacksonville, So the 49er fans travel really, really well. This is one of those rare instances where 3/4 of the fans are not going to be 49er fans, which means it's going to be a true road environment. And I think that is a unique situation for this team because ever since Shanahan's been here and when they've been good, this fan base travels extremely well. And 28% in Philly is nothing to scoff at. That is a very, very good turnout, but it's Philly. It's very hard to pack that stadium with your fans. So the projection right now is around 28%, and I think that'll be a unique situation for them. I agree with you with the mobile quarterback situation, and not just the mobile quarterback. If Lane Johnson plays, and it sounds like he probably will, it's a mobile quarterback with an elite offensive line and a very good running game and a good running back. Those three things are hard to find in the NFL. Not many mobile quarterbacks, elite mobile quarterbacks exist, and they usually aren't paired with an elite running game and an elite offensive line, and they have all three. So I think those things are probably my biggest challenges, but I do have two more. The Eagles' run defense is right up there with the 49ers. It's like the 49ers and the Eagles. Those are the two best run defenses in the NFL. The 49ers love to run the ball, obviously. So I think that'll get interesting. And then I would say the downfield throwing of the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to challenge the 49ers downfield, and they have the offensive line to hold up against what you called the best part of the secondary, which is the pass rush. They have the offensive line to potentially hold up against that. And if they can, and they can push the ball down the field, then it really is going to challenge the secondary of the 49ers and force them to cover deep downfield against very, very good receivers. So I think that there are a lot of challenges here that the 49ers could potentially face.
Absolutely. And I mean, when you're getting, there's a reason why you put him in the, I think starting the season, there's a handful of teams that actually have Super Bowl aspirations. The Eagles were always on that list. And for all the things we just mentioned, and the reason why to me, they've always been the biggest challenge for the 49ers is because of everything we just mentioned. It's unique to their team. And usually the 49ers don't have to worry about those challenges against most teams.
I think this is a really, really good question by the Sentinel. He says, Hassan Reddick is a menace. What do we do to stop him? I think the 49ers do exactly what they should have done last year. When you watch the Philadelphia Eagles, and I talked about it all week leading up to that game, Sentinel, about how Hassan Reddick does not bite on play action. He just continues to go after the quarterback, and he hopes that he guesses right. It's a gamble for him in that defensive line. And when he guesses right, you see that it can be disaster, and that's ultimately what ended the 49ers season. Hassan Reddick still plays just like that. But the way that you slow that down is you don't go play action right out the gate. You run the ball at a player like him, and you allow him to flow upfield and throw screen passes behind him. You start to make him think a little bit. And if you can make him slow down by even a half a step, that's when you got him. That's when you mix in the play action. That's when you can really open up the play action game and get behind that. But you don't just come out right away, go play action, 7-step drop, and expect that he's going to bite, because that's not the way that he plays football. You're going to have to force him into being disciplined. And then once you've got him guessing, that's when you can attack him. But I agree, he is a menace. But I would attack him the same way that I would any elite pass rusher like him, and that's go right at him. So
Yeah, and another thing is, make sure, to put Charlie Warner on him, not Ross Dwelly.
how about you just don't put a tight end on him? How about you double team him? How about you chip him with a tight end and then allow your right tackle to help, and then also keep a running back by there just in case. Do all of the things that you can
Yeah,
do.
I love this comment
Golly.
by Knees. Let's be real. Charlie Warner's been training his whole life for this moment. He's ready. Yo, he's been in the gym for one reason and one reason only, to be able to make sure that Brock Purdy is protected when it comes to that play. No, I mean, I think it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. Another interesting thing is, what is the offensive line gonna be? Burford's back in practice. Are they gonna pull Feliciano out? Are they gonna put Burford in? To me, I think you keep Feliciano there. I think the offensive line we saw last week should be the offensive line for the rest of the season, as long as everybody's healthy. And I would want to see Burford off the bench because, um, that matchup, McKivitz versus Reddick, is not a good one for the 49ers. So I would hate to also have another question mark at right guard. Feliciano has been pretty great wherever he's plugged in. I feel more confident with him than I do with Burford.